Fam, welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. It's a beautiful Saturday. Had some great hoops last night. What's going on, Chill Town? How you feeling?
Yo, Big Ox, I wasn't really feeling this in-season tournament to start. I really wasn't, yo. I was not on the in-season tournament train. I thought this was a money grab. I really didn't dig it. I thought it was just a gimmick. But watching these games, Big Ox, I can't remember the NBA being this competitive this early in the season.
Yeah.
I can't remember it being this competitive, Big Ox. And it's a sight to see, man, to watch these dudes. I know the incentive is bread, which I also think is interesting because, these dudes make plenty of money, right? These dudes make plenty of money. So my incentive is my paycheck anyway, right? Because I got to accept the fact that not everybody love the game. So a lot of these dudes, it's just a gig. It's just show up, do my job. Not everybody is Jordan or James, where we got ballers, which I'm going to ask you this question later, Big Ox. But not everybody in the game is an actual baller like that. A lot of these dudes, it's a job. So the incentive part is just getting paid what I get paid and going home. Now you see this right here working. And Big Ox, I watched that Toronto-Boston game last night. Man, it felt like a playoff game.
Yeah.
It felt like a playoff game. I watched Scotty Barnes go at it with Jason Tatum. And he made Jason Tatum's life hell last night, giving him everything he was looking for, cutting off angles, denying him the basketball, making him think twice about shots. Even when he was open, he was looking for Barnes, making him make tough shots, which is what I'm normally seeing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Normally seeing that in the playoffs, seeing guys compete against each other, seeing guys go at it not just because this is life or death, because it's that. Because, you lose, you out. And this tournament, man, it's been exactly that. It's been exactly that.
I like seeing guys play to the buzzer. That's one of my favorite parts. I've never been of the mind that, if you're up, we have to respect the other team. We can't shoot the ball. If you don't want that ball to go, you better hope I don't have it. Because if it's 15 seconds left and we're up 25, we're gonna win by 27. And so I don't believe in those unwritten rules that they have. So when I see guys scoring at the end when it's 5 seconds left, I love it. I love seeing that.
I could get with that. I mean, as long as it's time on the clock, game's still going on.
Right.
Game is still going on, man. So this in-season tournament has been a pleasant surprise to me, Big Ox. And I think the group that I'm the most impressed with, which I think is the toughest group, and you and me had this conversation, is the West Group B. That's got the Pels, Denver, Houston, Dallas, and the Clippers in it.
Right.
And I don't think that a Clippers Houston game would be this competitive in November.
Right.
But last night, that was a dogfight, Ox.
Yeah, it was.
And
that was a crazy game.
Don't get me wrong. They had lost their last 6 games. So there is some incentive there. Like, we got to get off the snide. 100%, we got to get off the snide. But there was also some other incentive. We in the division. We trying to get to Vegas so we could get to the championship. And they actually didn't look bad. Houston, I got to give them credit. Segun looked really good last night.
Yeah, he did.
Segun looked really good, and they played with a lot of poise. So, with that being said, I'm pleasantly surprised with this in-season tournament, man. I am. I'm pleasantly surprised with how this thing is going, the competitiveness, how these dudes are all bought in, and how serious they are about it. 100% they are. And
these guys want to get to Vegas. They want to win that money, Chill.
And on top of that, be clear, Ox, getting to Vegas. Hey, we get to Vegas. This ain't no vacation.
Right.
Like, we ain't coming to Vegas to party. No, we working. We are in Vegas to work. We are not here to be out partying and to be out having a good time. Don't get me wrong. We can unwind from time to time. Like, we out here for a couple of days. Let's go get a beer, or let's go get some food. All right, but we're not out here solely for that. We out here to work.
Right.
This is what we're here for. We are here to work. So I'm really digging the in-season tournament. The Toronto Boston game last night was the game that I highlighted because what I saw from Jason Tatum was a guy who reverted back to old ways. He didn't stick to the plan. Right. I found him reverting back to, if my shot isn't going, he'll put his head down and he'll get it. He'll get in his head. Or if a guy is making him make tough shots, he won't stay aggressive and stay in the fight. Even though I've seen him do that this season. Right? I've seen him do that this season where he'll make tough shots and a guy will get in him, right? A guy will get in him and make him make tough shots and he'll stay in the fight. But last night, he looked like a guy who got down on himself early because he missed a couple of shots and it kind of took him out of his game. He did the other stuff where he'll rebound the basketball. He did the other stuff where he'll play defense, but that can't carry over to other parts of the season. That can't carry over to the playoffs because guys like Scotty Barnes are going to compete. And this is what it's going to look like down the line when you get in the playoffs. This is what it's going to look like down the line when you get later on in the season when these dudes are fighting for playoff spot. This is a prelude to what's going on later on in the season. So yes.
Scotty wanted to fight. You can see Scotty wanted to fight.
He was with
him to fight.
He did, Ox, and that's the part that I love. That part, what you just said. Scotty walked on that floor with his sleeves rolled up, looking at Jason Tatum like, "Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it." He tapped his gloves together like, "Come on, my man. I'm ready for you today." I thought that the Celtics, I thought they were able to battle back. Jaylen Brown, the shots. Some days he gives me really good shot selection, and then he'll go off the rails. But for the most part, he tries to play within himself. Sometimes he'll get ahead of himself, but for the most part, he'll play within himself. And he did that last night. I mean, Al Horford, I see why you dig Al Horford, Big Ox, to be honest with you. Because you know who Al Horford is? Al Horford is your pops, where you know the bill's going to get paid.
Yeah.
You just know that the light's going to be on.
Yeah.
You know for a fact that come next week, at the end of the week, there's going to be food in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Now, it might not be steak and eggs every week, but you know for a fact it's going to be food in the refrigerator. You know for a fact that it's going to be gas in the car. That's who Big Ox is. That's who Al Horford is. And I love that about him.
Got to, man. You know, no matter what, even if he go watch the game with the boys, he gonna go to work the next morning.
Don't worry.
And everything gonna be taken care of. You can depend on Al Horford. Chill. I do want to. I want to get into it. I got to give you a little pushback for two things, Chilltown. Two things. I'm gonna start with one that we've actually seen already this year. We've already seen this year, and that is the Suns and Devin Booker. Devin Booker's ability to play point guard. How are we feeling about this, Chilltown? 15 assists last night.
Yes.
He's making the right passes. Can the Suns depend on Devin Booker to do that consistently throughout this season? Can they depend on him to do that in the playoffs?
And it didn't affect his offense either. On top of that,
right?
Like it wasn't just Devin Booker, with 15 dimes. No, he actually scored too. And
what do you have? 27,
24. Yeah,
24.
24. Okay. Yeah, 24 and 15 dimes last night, and he was efficient too. He took care of the basketball, which I wasn't. I'm not completely sold yet, Ox. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not completely sold yet, but I did like what I saw. I like the guy who he recognized KD had it going. He recognized KD had it going, and with KD getting it going early, he went to him, right? He recognized guys like Eric Gordon, right? He recognized guys like Eric Gordon having open shots and knocking down open shots. I think he went 4 for 8 on the long ball last night, and I'm still a little leery of Eric Gordon standing 4 or 5 feet behind the three-point line. You do not have to stand there. It's still 3, my man.
Man.
If you're standing on the line or if you're standing 5 feet behind the line, it's still 3. It doesn't make a difference. But with that being said, right? With that being said, Devin Booker showed that, I can maintain the lead guard spot. I can do that. And with maintaining the lead guard spot, I could get other guys involved. He took care of the basketball, getting downhill, getting his own shot, and it didn't affect his game, right? Didn't affect his game. He still was an efficient, 7 for 15, 8 for 10 from his strike, took care of the basketball. I think he only turned the ball over. If he turned the ball over, I think he turned it over maybe once. If he had any turnovers. I'm not even sure if he had a turnover last night. I don't think
Devin Booker, I think he had one.
Yeah. If he did, he had one turnover. He took care of the basketball last night. And Utah gave them a fight. The thing I'm thinking about is when I'm thinking about when the game slows down and we get into not the meat and potatoes of the season, but when we get into teams where they're gonna slow us down and we're not gonna be able to play fast. Can we do? I'm not saying Devin Booker got to be John Stockton, right? I ain't saying that you got to be, Mark Price or somebody like that. But can you be a steady lead guard that can get us involved, all of us involved in the game, and continuing to get your offense? He showed that last night. He did. I still got to see it, Ox, because it looks like it's still in the developmental stages. Devin Booker gets downhill with the best of them. He still makes great decisions on the ball, which I didn't know that he could do that on a consistent basis. That part I'm not sure about. So the question is can we depend on him to continue to do this? I will tell you this though, Big Ops, and I want to because I know you had some pushback. You had some other pushback from me, but we talk about KD. I've said this already. What's my one issue with KD, Big Ops?
He'll break down.
That's it. Nothing else. The goods are still there. I want to give you some information real quick, Big Ops. So in 22, right, the beginning of the 21-22 season, the first 16 games of the season, KD is going 58, almost 59, 50, and 83, and he's averaging 29 a game. Last season, he went 6. I think it was around December 27th. He had a 15-game stretch where he went 60, 40, 90, and he was averaging 30 a game. This season, he's 53, 50, 86. He's averaging 30, almost 31 a game. The goods are still there. The goods have always been there. That's not the question. The question is we got a guy that's getting up there in age, and it's going to be how he gets managed. Why? Because he breaks down. Because he's getting older. That's it. KD's game is not like what Dominique Wilkins' game was in the late 80s, early 90s, when Dominique started to slow down. Where Dominique's game is predicated on flight and athleticism. KD's game is not like Giannis's game, where Giannis's game is built on brute force and flight and athleticism. KD's game is not built like that. KD's game is comprised of getting to spots and a specific skill set. It's not this. That's not KD's game. And KD can still do that. The question is how long can he do it before he breaks down? Why? Because we're getting older. That's it. It's obvious that the goods are still there. And it's obvious that the goods will stay there. The question is how long can he hold up? That's the $1 million question. Because from what I saw last night, the one-legged jump shot in the meat and potatoes of the game, he practices that, by the way.
Oh, for sure.
That's not something that he did on the fly. He practiced that. Number two, him hitting the go-ahead 3 to end the game. I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you guys jump him? Because we know where the ball's going. Make somebody else do it. You have to make somebody else do it. Because when he gets the ball and you got him on Abaji. When you got KD on him, you can't leave him on an island with KD. Not by himself to win it. Absolutely not. You can't do that, because if you do that, what's going to happen is what happened last night. More times than not, you're going to lose. If it's one shot, you're going to lose. No question about that. You're going to lose. So with that being said, KD is fantastic. The goods are still there. Devin Booker looked like a solid lead guard last night. I need to see this I don't need to see 15 assists, Big Ox. I ain't saying
right.
I do not need to see that, but I do need to see this on a consistent basis where a guy can take care of the basketball and not just take care of the basketball, get other guys involved like he got Eric Gordon involved, get guys involved like he got KD involved, and create space while keeping himself involved in the offense. in an efficient manner, like he did last night. It's like I said, 7 for 15, 8 for 10 on the strike, getting to the strike. So if they could continue to do that, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Another thing that was brought up yesterday in the group chat, Showtime. I know it was the last 2 possessions of the Clippers game, chill. We get James Harden, penetrate, dump to Zubac for the dunk. Next play down, last possession, he gives it to Kawhi. Kawhi tries to work. Kawhi sees I don't have it, but I got James Harden. I can rely on him right now. Kicks it to James Harden. Step back 3 for game. Is that something that we can expect to see from the Clippers?
He does give them that different dynamic. He does. He gives them that scorer, shooting the long ball that they don't have. And it works sometimes. The problem with James Harden is he could do the same thing that Russ does, where he could go ice cold. He could go ice cold and he could shoot you out of a game. He can very well do that too. That's the downside.
We've seen it. We've seen it happen before.
We've seen that happen. Last night, him being James Harden, I wasn't really surprised because that's who James Harden is. James Harden can make big shots in big spots. The regular season with James Harden, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter because it does, but I think James Harden is at a point where this stuff has to translate into the playoffs more than anything. Because I've seen James Harden make big shots, go ahead shots, winners. He gives them another dynamic that they didn't have. When I'm thinking of Russ, take James Harden off the floor and put Russ on the floor. I understand what you're saying when you say now Leonard doesn't have it. He could go to James Harden. With Russ on the floor, the idea is, Leonard, we coming to you. You're our guy. You end it. So that suggests to me that maybe Leonard doesn't want to end it. Don't get me wrong. That was the right basketball play, as opposed to forcing the shot. Same logic with Paul George, right? Same logic with Paul George. But if I'm Russ and I'm on the floor with these guys, in the meat and potatoes of the game because you guys are going to end it. I was able to get us this far, taking care of the basketball, being efficient, not turning the basketball over. Now you're here to end it, and I think that James Harden gives them that dynamic. The question is how long does he give them that dynamic?
Okay, that's fair. Let me see. Let's move to a couple super chats before we run down the rest of these games. We got some from Sports PSP. He says, has Iverson gotten a bad rap by the young generation?
What kind of rap has he gotten by the young generation? Is my question. I don't know if he's gotten a bad rap by young generation sports. I think that he made his reputation what it is through his game. The culture we already knew. Allen looked like one of us. Baggy fits, and he looked like one of us. Now the younger generation, they can look at him because he doesn't look like them.
Right.
They could look at him and go, yo, Allen might not have been bad for the game. Well, you wasn't around when this was going on. We was around when this was going on, and Allen was not bad for the game. And the younger generation cannot give him a bad rap because we were there, we saw it. And because we saw it, there is no bad reputation from the younger generation because we can combat that because we were there.
Yeah, I know a lot of the youngsters, what I hear him say is that he was just a really inefficient scorer. He just shot, a ball hog. That his claim to fame is beating the Lakers one game, so I don't know.
I know that Allen, who was quote unquote a shot chucker, quote unquote not a team guy, none of that stuff equated to what he brought to the game. And anybody that watched him knew that Allen laid it on the line every night. Allen gave everything he could possibly give. And he was able to take his teams to the playoffs. And because you don't win it, I want to get to the bottom of something real quick, Oz. Winning the NBA championship, just being good does not work. You need a lot of stuff to go your way, man, in order to win. You do. And that buzzsaw that your Sacramento Kings ran into in 2002, guess what? Allen ran into them too.
Yep.
Allen ran into them too. So it's not like he just was whack. No, I ran into the same thing you dudes ran. I got beat up by the same dudes you got beat up by. And it wasn't like I wasn't fighting because I damn sure did try to fight. I tried hard. So I don't think Allen Iverson can give up. I don't think Allen Iverson can get a bad rap from the younger generation because we were there and we saw it.
And just to be clear about that, about the fact that you say we fought, I want people to understand, like, nobody let those Lakers win.
Sacramento did not just show
up. Just so you know, all the teams that the Lakers beat from 2000 to 2003, none of them were just like, hey, you guys can have it. No, it wasn't. No. That wasn't the situation at all. No, so
it was not.
just to be clear,
it was not.
Malik Juice Shelby sent through a super chat. No chat, but we still appreciate the appreciate it, Malik.
Thank you.
LA Bron says LeBron is still the best small forward in the NBA. Shout out to KD too. Tatum is starting to look like the biggest front runner in the league right now. Not moving me.
Tatum is looking like a front runner? Are we serious right now? No, that sounds like fandom right there. What that sounds like complete and utter nonsense. Because Tatum is not a front runner. We're talking about a dude who's averaging 28 a game. I think he's leading the league in fourth quarter points. He had a tough matchup last night against Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is a potential all-league defender, and he had a tough matchup against him last night. So that happens. There's going to be nights like that. Just like it's going to be nights where James doesn't shoot 5 for 9 on the long ball. There's going to be nights like that where he doesn't do that. So James is still awesome. I'm not fighting that. And I'm a James guy. You'll get no pushback from me with James, the way he's been shooting the basketball. I think he's shooting over 40%, I think he's shooting close to 50% in the last 5 games on the long ball. Just on the long ball alone, he's been shooting close to 50%. But I'm on record. I'm not going to take these young guys and hold them back because these older dudes are still here on reputation. Don't get me wrong. James is playing fantastic, but I'm not going to do that. James has yet to do that since he's been, the last 2 or 3 years. He has yet to do that for an entire season. Jason Tatum has been getting better every year. You know how hard it is to be a first-team All-NBA performer? Jason Tatum did it twice in the last 2 years. First-team All-NBA. And he's trending toward that right now, again. So
somebody in the chat said that Jason Tatum is Joe Johnson with the green light.
And that couldn't be further from the truth, that he's Joe Johnson. Because, number one, Jason Tatum rebounds it better than Joe Johnson. Jason Tatum is a better one. As good as ISO Joe is, as good as ISO Joe was, I think Jason Tatum is a better scorer than him. I think Jason Tatum is a better rebounder than him. He's definitely a better defender than him. I think you dudes look at just one side of the basketball and only see that. Only see that. And when you only see that, that kind of takes away from the entire story. So I'm good.
Certainly does. Prince Ali Rogers. Sengun kept trying to dunk Zubac, but Zoo wasn't going for none of that. Big ox shit. Salute, fellas. It's chill. What the hell? Can you hear me?
I heard you. I heard you, Big Ox. Yeah, you straight.
Okay, yeah, it looked like I went out for a second. It's chill done with AD. I definitely am.
Why you done with him? Why? Take his 15 rebounds and 5 blocks off the board. You think they beat Portland last night? Take his 15 rebounds and 5 blocks off the board. You looking at the buckets, which I can appreciate that. James has it going. Cam Reddish has been playing great. These guys have it going. Anthony Davis is eventually going to get back to that. But take Anthony Davis's effort. Take his rim protection off the board. Take his rebounding off the board. Take his paint presence off the board. Do they beat the Trailblazers? Do they have a chance in the Western Conference without him? No, they don't. They have no chance whatsoever. So you want to be out on him? You want to be out on him? Knock yourself out. I'm not. I'm not out on him.
Got one from my guy, FIFA boy. Bob, how many Luka dropping against y'all tomorrow? Probably a lot.
And flip that around.
Yeah, right. But this is the thing. Luka gonna do whatever Luka gonna do. Our menace is Kyrie Irving. That's who gives us fits. Is Kyrie Irving. So, and Luka can go for 120 for all I care, as long as we win.
Well,
As
it
long
doesn't
as
make
we win.
Luka goes 60 and 20, but y'all lost. We beat them. So what difference?
Yeah.
What difference does it make? You're right. I can get with that. Definitely can get with that.
We got another chat from Nan600.
Yep.
Creamtown, respect point book.
Thanks for the super chat, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you, my man. Thanks for the super chat. No doubt about it. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother.
We absolutely enjoy your company. No doubt.
Let me get Liam in here from the back real quick. Get some of the fellas up before we move on.
Hey guys,
Liam,
how's it going?
What up?
Great.
Can you hear me?
What up?
Yep.
I want to say just a couple of things. One thing about Tatum, like I was saying this, I don't know if you remember a while back. I think Tatum is one of those guys that just people love to hate. Like he could go 40, 10, and 10, and then he'd have like a 25, 5, and 5 game. Well, we know he was shit. And it's like there's certain players that sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, they're still working his game, but like it's just I don't get it. Like, and I think we're spoiled. I think this generation is spoiled with so much offensive talent that when someone does a little bit less than what everyone else is doing, they're just like, well, he's just not good enough. And it's like, well, actually, he's pretty damn good.
He's pretty damn good. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it frustrates me because I am a Tatum fan. I'm a Boston fan. But at the same time, I understand there's things to work on, but it's like it's never really enough for him. It's like, oh well, he does this wrong, and they find lots of things.
Remember that we're also talking about people who it's their expectation. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they have these expectations on these guys, because they see it. Because these guys have shown it to them. So now we're a generation, not my generation. I think we're a species of more. Give me more.
Yeah.
Give me more. Give me more. When in reality, what he's giving you is pretty damn good. Like I said, how many guys in your position would love to have a first team All-Pro on their team?
Yeah, exactly.
That's in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
That's picked to win the championship. How many Toronto fans would love to have that on their team? How many Washington fans would love to have that on their team?
Exactly.
Right?
No,
how many Charlotte fans would love to have, damn, we got a first team All-Pro on our team and we picked to win the NBA championship. How many guys would love that? How many guys?
And players are going to have bad games. Players are going to have bad games. It just happens. And there's going to be time, like you said, there's times when he's like, you know what? Because I remember there's a quick one. I remember them interviewing Kobe, and Kobe was saying that the manager told him, look, I know you're getting lots of points right now, but Shaq is just coming back from injury. We need you to go down from 40 to 32 points, because if you're if you're overscoring him, it's going to ruin his confidence coming in. So he scaled back and played more defensive to help his partner. And these are things that do happen. I don't want to ramble on too much, but my other thing is I had a suggestion for the panel for like maybe a fun game if you haven't played it. You have the top 75, right? And I'm always hearing you, Chill, say like he gives me this person vibes. I was wondering, like, if I don't know if you guys would do it, but like for each person in the top 75, find a person that's playing currently that gives you the vibes of that player. So it'd be like, this person gives me Jerry West vibes, and you say why, or then Ticket will be like, nah, you're capping this guy or whatever. And then that might be kind of a fun idea. It might take a few days, but it might be a fun kind of way to compare like old generation with new generation and find like a mix between.
Yeah, I like that idea. I'll pitch it to the suits. See what they say.
All right.
Yeah, no doubt,
all right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
Good to talk to
you.
Enjoy the show.
All right, Liam. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Ox. Have a good one.
So to the dude in the chat, NDL Hoops, he said Tatum is the most privileged player of the modern era. So Hoops, I want to run down something for you really quickly, and you straighten me out and tell me if I'm wrong. So before Tatum shows up, that team has Marcus Smart, who was a second-year player. When Tatum gets on the crew in 2017, they got Marcus Smart, who's a second-year player. I'm sorry, a third-year player. He's in his third year. They get Jaylen Brown, who's in his second year, right? They get him in his second year. Jason Tatum is a rookie. Al Horford, who's a dirty work guy. Jay Crowder, Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward broke his leg. He broke his ankle. He was out for the season. Jason Tatum was not supposed to play.
First game of the season.
First game of the season. He breaks his leg, right? So with that being said, when you talk about a guy being privileged, what about those guys? Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier in 2017. What about Terry Rozier told you that the Boston Celtics, or he's awesome? Jay Crowder, guys like that. I mean, what about guys like that told you that, yo, this is a bomb squad? Jay Crowder, Marcus Smart. At that time, when Jason Tatum got on the crew, I'm interested to hear your logic on that. I'm interested to hear your logic on that. But back to you, Oz.
Okay. Let's we got Sports PSP actually pulled up. Let's see what he got. See what he got for us today.
Yep.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What up, yo? What up?
What up, man? How y'all doing? Chill. Just to give you some context. And by the way, if you hear any noise in the background, that's just my cousin's 2-year-old daughter. So I apologize for that. Regarding the question that I asked you, has Iverson gotten a bad rap? It's everything to what Big Ox alluded to. A lot of young people bring up Allen Iverson's inefficiency, how he chucked up a lot of shots. A lot of people say that he's overrated, and they constantly say, you know, since that 0-1 finals, what has he done? And yes, that 0-1 finals, yes, he had a great defensive team led by Larry Brown, great defensive mind, but they disregard the fact that offensively, what did Allen Iverson had to work with? Not really much. And I just feel like Iverson, for the most part, has gotten a bad rep. How do you feel about it?
I don't think he's gotten a bad rep because I don't listen to that stuff because I was around when that was going on, right? So when I hear people saying stuff like, well, he was inefficient. Yeah, he was inefficient considering what was going on during that time. He didn't have – that wasn't a league of 30 and 29 a game guys. That wasn't a league like that. And he didn't play with somebody like that. He played with a bunch of guys who complimented him. That's how that unit was built. That unit was built to complement him. They got a defensive 5-man in Dikembe Mutombo, right? They got a dirty work guy, Aaron McKee, and then George Lynch, Jermaine Jones. They had a heady point guard, and Eric Snow. That unit was built around Allen. That's why they got off of Jerry Stackhouse, because they built that unit around him. And the way they built that unit was to Allen's strength. Allen is a scorer. Allen was a bucket getter. And yeah, he wasn't great at it. He wasn't, I don't know, ridiculously efficient, but so is James Harden. James Harden ain't ridiculously efficient. Tracy McGrady isn't ridiculously efficient. Yeah, Tracy McGrady led the league in scoring, and I know Big Ox is I know that Big Ox is a huge Tracy McGrady fan. I think the second year Tracy McGrady led the league in scoring, I think he shot under 42% for the season. So I mean that happens. But I can't disregard a guy who year after year this team is competitive, and because they didn't win it, that's just not good enough. Now, when you're talking about a guy winning the league MVP at that size and what he had brought to the NBA, when you're that great, there's going to be people who do whatever they can to try to discredit how good you really were. And Allen Iverson was fantastic, and I was
I agree there. I just think that a lot of young people just basically take him for granted. And that's what we were discussing on the podcast. Mm-hmm. One of them mentioned Allen Iverson because we were doing a discussion in their prime. Who'd you rather take between Paul Pierce or Carmelo Anthony? Mm-hmm. And I can understand why a lot of people would probably go with Paul Pierce because of the shooting ability, the scoring as well. Mm-hmm. I think guys like Melo and AI, they've gotten like a bad rap throughout their career because they're just known as chuckers, scoring machines and stuff like that. I think if you put Iverson in today's era, he would be more efficient. He would give you 30, 33 points if he wanted to. I think he would win a championship if you cater more offensive talent, mm-hmm. so that way AI would get his buckets, but you wouldn't have to heavily rely on him so much. Defensively, you can't expect much from Allen Iverson given his size. Mm-hmm. Only thing you can get is just basically steals. Mm-hmm. But I think,
keep going.
But Ox, that's everything to what the point you were alluding to with Allen Iverson. I think throughout his career, he's just gotten a bad rap. Off the court, the young generation, they love him because of what he meant. As far as culture impact, you could argue he's above Jordan in terms of off the court.
You can make that argument. You can definitely make that argument that because what the thing that Allen Iverson did that most guys aren't able to do was he captivated the masses because he looked like them, kind of like what Steph Curry does, right? The problem with guys like James, even Shaq, the problem with guys like that is, how many 7-footers is walking around, right? How many 6'9" guys are walking around? Like,
very few.
You can't really relate to that guy that's 6'10". Don't get me wrong. I love him as a player. I'm a huge fan of Anthony Davis or a big guy. But I mean, I can't really relate to a dude that's 6'10". A dude like Steph Curry, who's around my size, he looks like the everyday dude, right? He looks like the everyday dude, and doing something like that makes you think that not necessarily playing in the NBA, but you could do something more because he's doing that. And Allen did that. From an NBA standpoint, Allen had people his size or people who look like him believing that they could do more with themselves because what he was doing with the Philadelphia 76ers. I was a big Allen Iverson fan. He was awesome.
Yeah. One last question before I leave. I gotta ask you this, Chilltown. CJ Stroud. Do you think he should be in the discussion for the MVP or the MVP? I think some people may say no because he's a rookie. But if you look at what he's been doing this season, he's on pace to throw for almost 5,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He came off a great victory against the Cincinnati Bengals. How do you feel with CJ Stroud?
Well, don't leave out. Is he in Houston in second place in the AFC South? I think
they're second in the AFC. They're only behind the Jaguars.
Yeah, I think they're in second place in the AFC South. I thought that they were going to be what the Detroit Pistons are. What I mean when I say that is they would lose games, but every game would be a dogfight. That's what I thought I would see with them. I did not have them as good as they are right now in winning games like this. This guy, CJ Stroud, he looks like a seasoned vet. He looks comfortable in the pocket. He looks comfortable in his progressions, which I'm surprised because a lot of rookies, you could trick rookies. Prime example would be this is Brock Purdy's first season as a starter. He gets tricked a lot by linebackers, whether they're in drop coverage. When they're in drop coverage, he gets tricked a lot. That's what screws him up. CJ Stroud, he looks like a guy who, one, he does his homework, which is huge as a quarterback. You see a lot of these guys that don't do their homework, and it shows. CJ Stroud does his homework. He goes through his progressions. He's got a great arm, and he knows who to throw the football to and when to get him the football. They look like, and what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to jump the gun and say that, this guy's going to be an all-time great. But think about what the league MVP is. The league MVP is the guy who's the most valuable to his team's success. And if you think about what's going on with Houston right now, they are winning. Yeah. They are winning, they are. And I think they've surpassed any type of expectations that anybody had for them. So would he be in the discussion? I think he'd be in the discussion, but history tells me that the league MVP is the best player on the best team in pro football. Absolutely. That's what it's showing me. But I do think that he's going to get some. I do think that he's going to get some people are going to be talking about him.
Yeah, definitely. Fellas, y'all take it easy. Y'all enjoy your Saturday, man.
All right, PSP, appreciate you, fam.
No doubt.
Anytime.
No doubt. Ox, I remember seeing Allen Iverson with that left to right crossover for the first time. And I was in it at that point. I was chasing the dream, and I remember thinking to myself, that looked dangerous. Yeah. I need to learn that because that looks dangerous right there. And a good friend of mine at that time, Gary Johnson, went to SC. He hit me with it, and I was like, I stopped him right after the game. We were playing pickup, and he hit me with that. I was like, yo, can you show me that, please? Because I need to learn that. That is fantastic. It looks dangerous. You can hurt somebody with that.
Yeah. Man, hey, Chilltown. Those were dangerous times.
Dangerous
times.
Dangerous.
Let me see. Let me get this out the way quick before we bring anybody else up. We got YSN Money says, salute to the GOATs, Chillin' Ox. Give me your starting 5 all-time lineup. Yeah, just in case anyone missed it, the Lakers won yesterday.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, we saw. Man.
My
you got an all-time starting lineup?
Yes, I got Magic at the 1. I got Jordan at the 2. I got James at the 3. Duncan at the 4. And I got Jabbar at the 5.
Good squad. Good squad.
That's my crew.
You said Magic, Jordan, Bron, Duncan. Okay. And you said Kareem?
Jabbar at the 5, yep.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a fire lineup. Appreciate you, YSN.
Yes, sir.
Let's get some more of the fellas up. We got Trey Ball.
What up?
What's going on, brother?
What up?
What's going on, dog? And what's going on? Chill.
Your Mike, you got headphones or something? Let me see if you can fix that real quick.
Let's see if we can get my man Mike back.
Hey, now?
Yeah, you hot?
Yeah.
All
Yeah, you
right.
hot.
Chill.
What up?
Do you remember our bet? I know you probably don't,
Remind me.
and I can send y'all a shot of it.
Remind me.
But I want to remember our bet. I just want to know if you remember it, like off rip. I know you're a busy man, so you probably don't.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. Remind me.
Okay. We bet on the Mavs being a playing team. And I said if they were a playing team, I had to do, I think, 40 pull-ups, and you had to do 40 push-ups.
On camera.
On camera.
You did say that.
So,
I do remember that.
I just came up to ask if you've been training on your push-ups.
I don't need to do that.
Oh, you do.
I don't.
Guess who tied for the number one seed?
I need to train, man.
Guess who tied for the number one seed? So I think you need to train for your push-ups.
And so we clear. So we clear. Remember, before y'all made that trade last year for Irv, this is the seed you was at last year. And remember, what it means is you know how competitive the West is. You can have a week where you go from 4 to being in the play-in tournament. So I'm just saying. We've
been at the top though the whole season.
And I honor a bet. I 100% honor a bet. Yes, I do. And if that happens, I'll give you 50.
I already know.
Okay, I'll give you 50. So we gonna
amend the bet.
I'll give you 50.
That's all I had to say. Other than that, I just had one thing about KD. Why do you think? And this goes to the thing that you say a lot, Bob. You know, I used to talk about the Lakers media cartel.
Yeah.
So what about the LeBron media cartel? Because my question is, why do we not revere KD for his longevity? Like, he's in year 17, and we don't talk about that ever. Like, ever.
I think, honestly, the answer to that is because Bron's in 21. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Bron wasn't here at 21 right now, we will be talking about KD being in 17.
I agree, but my thing is, when Bron was in year 15, we were talking about it. And then he was in year 16, we were talking about it. In 17, 18. KD doesn't get any of that slack. We talk about KD like he in year 6.
Hey, that's LeBron media cartel. You said it already.
That's all what's up. I just wanted to ask that question, like, because I noticed that and KD's playing crazy right now, and I'm like, bro, KD's in year 17. Yep. People are done past year. People are done in year 17.
Done in year 14.
Shit. Right.
Done in year 13. Wow.
I just think we need to keep that in mind when we talk about KD, because I really just noticed it myself. Like, I'm not some crazy KD fan. I really just noticed. I'm like, 17 is a lot. And for this dude to be playing like you talked about earlier, Chill, I think we should give him, like, just commend him for that as well. Because I'm not saying anything that LeBron's his longevity is obviously something to commend, or revere him for, but I just think we should do it for KD as well.
And that Achilles injury, which kept him out the season. I mean, don't get me wrong, ACL injuries, Achilles injuries, they're not the death sentence that they were 15, 20 years ago, right? Modern medicine has changed that. And KD over the last 4 years, I think one of the main reasons, and I have this with me, is the fact that he breaks down. But that doesn't change the fact that when he is on the floor, it ain't many that's better.
Right.
When he's on the floor, it's not many that's better than him. It's not.
Right. But yeah, that was it. Mavs, 2024 champions. Get ready for your push-up shift.
I'm ready.
Champions.
We spank y'all tomorrow, and we spanking the Bucks tonight.
Y'all got. That's right. Y'all got us on a back-to-back, man. Y'all not ready for that. We running them off the court, sure too.
Them dudes are out of here.
Oh yeah, they coming off a back-to-back. No way. I look. That right now, I'm letting y'all know De'Aaron going for 45. And I don't even want to talk about what DeMontis is about to do to that rookie. Oh, that's about to be sad. It's going to be a sad day. Welcome to the NBA, young boy.
Welcome to the NBA, Mr. Derek Lively. Allow me to introduce you to the rebounding, dirty work machine, Mr. DeMontis Sabonis. I don't think you've met him. So
you have not met him yet.
You have not met him yet. Allow me to introduce you to him. So
wait 1 second. Let me see. Okay. From David Astillo. Can you talk about the ramifications of the Malice in the Palace? Do you think that was the worst day in NBA? The Dre situation brought me back to that moment.
That wasn't even close to the Malice in the Palace.
Right,
Malice,
right.
Well, first of all, I had the Pacers winning the NBA championship that year, so we could start and stop the conversation right there. And what it did was it changed not just the whole dynamic of the NBA, because the Detroit Pistons went on to, I think San Antonio went on to win the NBA championship that year. But what it did was it changed the whole dynamic of the NBA, how you deal with suspensions, how the union handles fighting, how the NBA handles fighting, from a fan's perspective, how they looked at the NBA. With Draymond, that wasn't close to what the Malice in the Palace was. We actually had players running in the stands. There's an unwritten rule as a player. That 94 by 54 foot court has a line around it, and you don't cross it. You do not cross it under any circumstances. If you go in the stands, that means you in the stands diving for a loose ball. That's it. You do not cross that line. And the fact that was crossed, it wrecked the team's championship aspirations, and it actually destroyed a team. But it also strengthened a union and showed how good the NBA union is. Ron Artest started a riot, yo. You know he played 10 more years in the NBA? After that, he started a riot, yo. And he played 10 more years. There is no job, I don't know what job you could keep after starting a riot for 10 more years.
Now, Chilltown, somebody threw something at that man.
Even still.
But he didn't punch on the guy that threw something at him. It was an innocent bystander.
He jumped on the wrong dude. Right?
It was an innocent bystander.
He jumped on the wrong dude. The wrong guy. Yeah. So
and you know what? I was what's the show? The show Cameron and Mason's show. Mm-hmm. It is what it is, right?
Right.
I saw a little clip from when Jack Harlow was just on there. And he said something. It was just like, man, I didn't like to see Rudy Gobert like that. And the more like when I look at it, I think that's what kind of bothers me. I just didn't like to see Rudy getting choked like that. Like he was, he looked scared. You know what I'm saying? Like and there's nothing wrong with being scared in a situation like that. Draymond's a strong dude. He got his arm around your neck. You're like, what the hell is going on? Like 1 second ago, I'm trying to grab Clay off of him. Next thing I know, I'm getting dragged. I'm getting choked. So that's what it was. Just the visual of seeing a big guy like Rudy Gobert with legit fear in his face. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a lot what it had to do with for me.
He knew who to jump on too. I mean, let's make sure we play on that, Big Ox. He knew that Draymond already got a problem with Rudy anyway. He think he's soft, so he automatically going to jump on him because I already got a problem with you anyway. So if anything jump off out here, I'm making a beeline to you because I already got an issue with you anyway. So even if it ain't got nothing to do with me, if you try to get involved in it, I'm jumping on you. That's what Draymond is because he already got a problem with Rudy anyway.
But as far as the Malice in the Palace though, that was a completely different thing. And I remember I was watching that live when it happened. That was crazy. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Like I said, Big Ox, I had the Pacers winning the NBA championship day. I had picked them to win the NBA championship day. So I was really disappointed in that. 100% I was.
Yeah. We got another one from Boland. One end. I don't know, man. The thing about LeBron people forget is the fact that he played 21 straight years without missing a lot of time. KD and Curry missed about whole seasons.
Not about whole seasons. They basically missed the whole season. KD missed the entire 19-20 season. I think Curry played the first 3 games of the season, and he missed the whole season, which I think is wild that a broken wrist had you sitting out the whole season. Like, the whole season with a broken wrist?
They were tanking your team.
I think that's what was going on. Of course they was, because to break my wrist, and Kobe Bryant broke his wrist in the 99-2000 season. He came back and they won the NBA championship. He did not miss the whole season. So, and to the dude in the chat, he talked about with KD, with KD and Jimmy Butler falling into him. Now, if Jimmy Butler fell into his knee in year 4, I think he bounces back from that a little quicker. I don't think that he That's number. I don't think that he misses the whole season because of that. That's number one. Number two, the year after he came back, which was the 21-22 season, he missed half the season because of a hamstring issue, and that's a bit. And that's part of that's part of getting older. He missed half the season because of that. A dude that's getting older. So, and then same thing happened in Detroit. These injuries that you would normally a younger guy bounce back from. When you get older, you don't bounce back from them as quickly as you normally would. So
true. Let's get the Hoopsters up here. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, Box? What's going on, Mr. Chill? What's going on? I wanted to add what you were saying
about. When I hear the word Mr., I'm looking for my father. It's Chill.
Nah, remember I told you last time if I don't add Mr. to it, my mom come out of nowhere smack shit at me, man.
Tell your mother I appreciate the respect, but when I hear the word Mr., I'm looking for my father. So
all right. Well, as soon as you see a pop up ready to smack me, I need you to stop. All right,
Mama. It's okay, Mama. Chill is fine.
No, I wanted to add on top of what you were talking about with the with the Malice in the Palace and how it correlates to what happened with Draymond this past week. I think actually we were talking about it on the other show. One of the things that you had to take into account also is that was a turning point in NBA history for David Stern, who was a commissioner for years up to that point, but he was more lenient on physicality up until that point, and then he realized how much, how far he had gone with allowing certain things to get by. And I think this point, when we look at this point, when we get further into NBA history, we're going to look at this as a critical point for Adam Silver's tenure as a commissioner, because up to now he's been just as lenient. Even with the Ja Morant situation, it took the second time for him to actually put his foot down. And I think in this situation, when we get further on in NBA history, we're going to look at him as the commissioner and say that this was the point where he started being more firm on his decision making with what he does as punishments.
I think that that's a really good point you brought up, because I think that if it's a commissioner or a leader, they always have that time where your leadership has to show. So back when David Stern was the commissioner, so they'd have fights. I mean, the Knicks were the Knicks and the Bulls in 1994 in the playoffs. I mean, they had a spillover into the crowd, and David Stern was actually at that game with Derek Harper and Kitty with the University of South Carolina. They got into it, and it got handled. The New York Knicks and the Miami Heat, when Charlie Ward and not PJ Tucker, I forgot the big fella's name. They got into it, and they had some suspensions. This is completely different, because now this isn't just something that's on the court. This actually spills over. The product spills over into the consumer. And when the product spills over into the consumer, it's affecting the bottom line. We can't have that, right? So what we got to do is we got to come down with something swift. We got to come down with something fast, and we got to come down with something harsh, but fair. And I think that when David Stern said, Ron Artest is suspended for the season, that was sending a message that we will tolerate none of this. Now, he might have gone over the line with a couple of other guys like Jermaine O'Neal. Yeah. He did do that, and the union regulated that. That's why I feel like it was a big moment. In addition to, like you just talked about with David Stern, it was a big moment for the union too, because your job, that's what we pay you. That's what I pay my union dues for, to stand up for these guys, and they did do that. I mean, like I said, Ron Artest.
But think about how much worse. Think of how much worse it could have gotten. Like, think of how drastic the Draymond situation got with Rudy Gobert, where it didn't even need to get there. And think about how much worse it could have gotten. Right. I think that if there's any more reason for Adam Silver to try to nip it in the bud now, it's that situation. You don't want to have a repeat of Malice in the Palace, because the NBA is much bigger of a brand than it was even then. And you just can't. When it comes, you got to protect your brand at the end of the day. Yeah. So. And then I wanted to talk to you about the whole Jason Tatum thing. You were speaking about how like, as far as like people being critical of Jason Tatum, it's built off of expectation. And I disagree. I think when it comes to Jason Tatum's play, I think at least for me in my circles, we're satisfied with Jason Tatum as the player. We would like him to be more consistent with his level of play, especially in the postseason. But I think like overall, we're satisfied with Jason Tatum. I think it's when the conversation comes up to what he needs to do to push himself into that top 5 conversation, because I think universally, Giannis, Jokic, Curry, Luka, Embiid are like the head honchos of that top 5, right? And so ultimately, the question is, what does Tatum have to do for him to trump Embiid, right? And so oftentimes, I don't think that that's expectation. I think that that's the answer to what he has to do if he wants to be regarded as highly as them.
Which is fair, but when I think about the expectation, I feel like when you've seen what he's done, that's why you're putting him in that conversation, because you've seen it. You know that he has the goods to be that good. So because you've seen him and you know he has the goods to be that good, you're expecting him. Why isn't he there consistently like Giannis? Why isn't he consistently there like
Luka?
Why isn't he consistently there like these dudes? I've already seen you do this. I've already seen you play at a high level like this. Why are we having the conversation that you might be there? Why are we having the conversation that you could be there? Well, the reason why we're having it is because it's not as consistent as a lot of these other guys.
Yeah.
Now, with me, on the other hand, I feel like that other part of him, that's not that other part of him that he still has to work out. The game is there. It's when he gets down on himself, when he misses a couple of shots. I'll see him put his head down and he kind of takes himself out of the game, even though he does a lot of other stuff that affects the game tremendously. His scoring affects his game in a negative way a lot of times, where he'll miss a couple of shots and that'll throw him off, which now starts the narrative, or more the narrative, that damn, is this dude what I think he is? I don't mean me in particular, but because you'll see him walking with his head down. The 22 finals are a prime example of that. And that's because he was young. When he was missing shots and he would put his head down, and I'm screaming at the TV, my man, we're not going to stop coming to you. Pick your head up. Get back with it. So Joker, Giannis, these guys do that. So if Tatum can have that mental aspect of the game a little bit more, I think he will supplant himself in the top 5. I already think he's a top 5 player, but with that being said, I think that it's going to get to a point where it's undisputed that he's a top 5 player, like Giannis, like Curry, like Joker, like these other guys. I think we're going to get to that point.
I agree. I think especially like with the way he's playing so far this season, he's playing like a top 5 player.
Right.
And so I think before it's all said and done, like by the end of this season, he should be solidified at the very least well ahead of like Anthony Davis. Like those conversations should be done by the time we end the season, if he keeps playing the way he plays. The only thing that I add to it is that he has to do it for the full season. You saw last season, he was playing phenomenal. He was an MVP candidate early in the season, and he dropped off. And so I think ultimately that's the main thing that holds on to him. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was I have to snitch on myself. I'm the one that spoke about Allen Iverson in that manner, not what PSP was saying though. I was saying that he was asking about the younger generation or my generation. And I was telling them essentially when it comes to Allen Iverson, we just add proper context to who he was as a player. He was a phenomenal player, a phenomenal scorer for that time, but you have to add the context that his scoring output was based off of his volume in his shots, not his efficiency. It was the volume. Yeah. And he was playing on a roster where it wasn't there was no better option than him to shoot the ball as many times as he did. But on the flip side, he did it to himself. I mean, in the 97-98 season, when he was averaging 22, there was a player for the 22 games to start off the season that was playing right alongside him that was averaging 16 points efficiently, by the way, in Jerry Stackhouse. And he got moved off. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why was he moved off? And then,
they moved off of Stackhouse because they felt like Iverson was their guy. It didn't have anything to do with Iverson personally.
No. But they moved off of him because they believed in Jerry Stack. They believed in Allen Iverson personally. Right. So they moved off of him.
But you said he did it to himself. How does he do it to himself?
No. That's what I'm getting to. He did it to himself because going into the 2000-2001 season, up until then, they were struggling heavily, like to get wins while being strictly under Allen Iverson, like until they like got the pieces that they needed because that offseason, because he was not developing properly outside of just scoring. His scoring was going up, but his playmaking was not really affecting the game as much because as many assists as he was getting it right back to him with the turnovers.
He did lead the league in steals though, and that constitutes his playmaking too.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's fair. That's fair.
It wasn't that doesn't constitute him as being a great defender. No,
yeah. No. I think he was a good defender. I think just like him in the passing lane was a pest. Like he was crazy. Right. But on ball defensively, with him being 6 foot and having that skinny frame, it got a little tricky at times. And so what I was saying was when it comes to Allen Iverson, I think in 2023. My era talks about Allen Iverson with the respect that he deserves off the court for his major contribution to the tradition we have in the NBA now, right? Yeah, the culture, the freedom that we now have is in large part due to what Allen Iverson was pushing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we respect him there, and then on the court we respect him also for what he did offensively. I think it's just proper context is given nowadays with his efficiency.
Right. I mean, and that's fair.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. All right, brother. Yeah, appreciate you pulling up.
Man. Absolutely.
For sure. Much love, OG.
Yes, sir. Right. Remember that Mr. Nonsense. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
Remember that Mr. Nonsense. We ain't doing that. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I mean, Allen. Okay. We know who Allen is. I just feel like it's important that people like you, people like me, who were around, when that sort of stuff was going on, to remind people of who these guys actually were. Like when my uncle, I don't know who Walt Frazier is I don't know how good Walt Frazier is, but my uncle's steady in my ear about how awesome Walt Frazier is, how much he loved Oscar Robertson, right? Chamberlain. And I'm a kid, and I'm telling you that, man, please, Dominique Wilkins a bust Elgin Baylor ass. Until I went and did some homework on Elgin Baylor, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This dude was awesome. Hold on. Let me chill out for a second. Hold on. Let me chill out.
Well, before we bring anybody else in or any more super chats or anything, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit here too. I want to talk about something that you bring up actually quite often. I don't think we spent enough time talking about it on any shows, and that is let's call it player development. And the willingness of an organization to just move away from a young guy without giving them a chance to develop, without giving them a chance to be who they have a chance to be, or without holding them accountable and forcing them to get better, making them get better. Telling them you have to work on this, you have to work on that. We're not just going to move off of you. Chitchat, what is that? What is that? What's that all about?
I think that we live in an era where everything is right now. I think the development of guys has gone by the wayside. Cam Reddish is evidence of that. I think the Lakers are his 4th team right now. He was with the Knicks. He was in Atlanta.
Knicks.
Portland.
Yeah, this is 4. Yeah.
I think it's his 4th team. So teams are quick to get off guys because they aren't instantly what you think that they should be. Instead of, you drafted this guy, and I've said this to you in the past, Big Ox. When I come into the NBA, I have pro potential. I'm not a pro. It's your job to teach me the pro game. And I'm going to learn it. I just need some help. But a lot of these teams, they aren't patient enough in order to see these guys develop. But then there are some teams that see guys early and recognize that, okay, this guy has the goods. We're going to work with him. Anthony Edwards is a prime example of that. We're going to work with him. Let's see. Trae Young, we're going to stick with him. But then you see guys who aren't considered awesome right from the beginning, but teams still recognize that I'm going to hold on to this guy because I think he's going to be something special. Bam Adebayo is a prime example of that. I've heard constantly over the years that Bam Adebayo is inconsistent and they need to get off of him. He doesn't score the basketball enough, and he doesn't do the things that teams need in order to win. When in reality, he does all of the things that teams need to win. He scores the basketball. He rebounds the basketball. He's an all-league defender. He's up for Defensive Player of the Year. I think Bam is a 20-10 guy. I think he's that moving forward. I feel like we're in our peak years with Bam Adebayo. I feel like this is the time where you're probably going to get the best years of Bam Adebayo. And that's a testament to the Miami Heat, who basically held Bam's feet to the fire and said, we're not trading you. We're not cutting you. We're going to re-sign you. We know that you have what we're looking for, and we're going to demand that you get better. And he got better. And the same logic happens with some other teams in this league. Prime example would be your boys, Big Ox. Your boys could have moved off of De'Aaron Fox. No, we're not moving off of you. We're going to continue to build this thing, and you're going to get better. We're not letting you off the hook. We're going to make you get better, and you see what's going on. De'Aaron Fox is now an all-pro, right? De'Aaron Fox is an all-star, taking his team to the NBA playoffs. And with that,
De'Aaron Fox is an MVP candidate.
And an MVP candidate, rightfully so. And with that, that's a testament to these teams that don't give up on these players. Chauncey Billups played for 5 different teams before he got to Detroit. He actually started balling when he got to Minnesota because Flip Saunders actually gave him an opportunity to let him rock. Orlando cut him. When he got traded to Orlando, they cut him, Big Ox. They was like, nah, you good. They just ate his deal. Rick Pitino cut him. I mean, Rick Pitino traded him right in the beginning, in the beginning of his rookie year. He didn't make it halfway through his rookie year, and they cut him instead of finding out who you had. Like, imagine Chauncey Billups developing with Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce and that crew. Imagine him developing with that crew instead of shipping him away right from the beginning. I think that these teams that you see in the NBA that hold on to guys and make these guys develop are the more viable teams in the league.
Okay, that makes sense. What organizations have you seen kind of? I know you brought up the Kings, but like what organizations have you seen kind of do that most? Like, God, that's not so willing to just move off of guys. Like, who's probably been the best with that? Maybe in the past, I don't know, couple of decades.
The Miami Heat, more than anything. If you think about who Bam Adebayo was, Bam Adebayo is a middle of the first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a guy drafted number 14 overall, more than likely you're not expecting that much from him. Saying you are expecting a lot from him, but you're not expecting him to be your franchise player. That more than likely he's not going to be your franchise player, right? When they draft Tyler Hero in the middle of the first round, you get the best rotation player in the game. These guys are developing, right? Minnesota. So now what Minnesota is doing with Anthony Edwards, as long as they've had Cat, the fact that they draft Jaden McDaniels, the fact that they trade for these guys are developing into something special. So the Trailblazers is another team where they developed CJ, where they developed Dame. I mean, they could have moved off Dame. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that they made a mistake passing on Joker. I mean, if we could go back in time and go, which one of these guys do I want? I'm sure they would pick Joker, knowing what they know today. But yeah. Teams like the Miami Heat, they're really good at developing. The Trailblazers, they were good. CJ, Damian Lillard, guys like that, they're really good at developing. Minnesota, I think that they're doing a good job. And remember too, Big Ox, the teams that aren't big market teams, like Miami, like Chicago, like the Knicks, well, and Oklahoma City is another one that they're developing their young talent. These teams have to have their draft picks, more of them pan out. And the reason why is because we're not a huge market. The Oklahoma City they're not going to get a big time free agent to sign them. That's not going to happen. Minnesota is not going to get a big time free agent to come up to Minnesota. So our draft picks, we have to get it right with them, and we have to develop these guys. Otherwise, what are we doing? We're basically just a turnstile for the Miami Heat, for the New York Knicks, for the Boston Celtics, for these teams. So we have to get our draft picks right. Otherwise, we're just going to be a invaluable franchise that's not really doing anything. So
right. And speaking of Portland, how you say if Portland, I mean, there's two things with Portland. Portland could have done a few better in a few drafts. They could have done a little better, and then they could have just had a little better luck with some injuries. Oh man, Portland would probably be one of the top franchises.
Of course they would be. I mean, I don't think Damian Lillard is on that crew if Brandon Roy doesn't get hurt, because they're a lot better. They don't get the 6th pick. So Damian Lillard is not in Portland if that happens. Same thing with the big fella Greg Oden. I don't think he's on that crew. If Greg Oden stayed healthy, they don't have a lottery pick. So don't get me wrong. It may have been a blessing in disguise that those guys got hurt because now we got somebody to build our unit around. And we got somebody, not just to build our unit around, we got somebody that we're going to develop. I'm all for that, big guys.
But I think they would have been better off a healthy B-Roy, healthy Greg Oden, LaMarcus Aldridge. I think they make a run. I think they make a crazy run. I think they make a run. Maybe win one or two. I don't know. But even if not Greg Oden getting healthy, if they pick KD in the draft, Portland had a lot of opportunities to be one of the top franchises a few times. So
now remember who we're talking about, right? We're talking about KD of today. Now, if we rewind the clock back to 2007, it's easy to say KD today. But if we rewind the clock back to 2007, I thought I was looking at Patrick Ewing 2.0 when I saw Greg Oden.
Right.
My man right there.
KD didn't he average 30 at Texas?
He was leading the country in scoring, 100%.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Greg Oden, that's like you can't go wrong drafting Greg Oden. Greg Oden was the man, like no doubt about it. But KD had a horse in the race to get that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying it's a wash, Big Ox. What I am saying, though, is remember the time. We're talking about 2007. Shaq was still running around. Dwight Howard was running around. Tim Duncan was still running around. Benoit. It was still Kevin Garnett. It was still a big man league. And your team was built around the big man, right? Your team was still built around the big man. And watching Greg Oden at Ohio State with the left-hand jump hook, cleaning glass, I'm like, that's Patrick Ewing 2.0 right there. Yeah. I'm building my unit around him. I did not know he was made of glass. I didn't know that. If I knew that, probably would have passed on him. No question about that. Probably would have passed on him. But on the surface, he looked like a franchise player. He did.
Certainly did. So just kind of moving on again. What because it's just looking at the thumbnail of the title, breaking down the NBA season so far. So we'll call it 10 games in pretty much all the way around. What have you seen so far this year, Chitchat? What are some of the highlights of the season? What are some of the lowlights of the season, disappointments, and maybe surprises?
Well, the highlight of the season is the in-season tournament, Big Ox. I did not think that I was going to be this in favor of it. I didn't. I thought that it was a gimmick. I thought that it was something that was just a money grab. I didn't think that it would be this competitive. I didn't think the games would be this good. And it's something that, I'm not all the way on board. I'm not gonna sit here and say, Big Ox, that I'm all the way on board, because I'm not. But what I can say is that I'm very much interested, because this looks like something that could turn into something real serious throughout time. Because now what you're gonna do is, with that money, the prize money, well, as we all know, yesterday's price is not what, Big Ox?
Today's.
Which means that as time goes on, that price gonna go up. So it may be even more competitive, right? And you may add even more incentive. Can you imagine in 5 years, everybody on the crew, we win this thing, all of y'all get $1 million. What? Everybody on the crew get $1 million. So, damn, if I'm the 9th man, and in addition to what I'm already doing, I get a check for $1 million. All right, I'm definitely down for that. Plus, fine. I think it's a prelude to what the playoffs is, right? The disappointment that I've been seeing, I'm disappointed in they're not my Cleveland Cavaliers, but I picked them. I'm disappointed in the Cavs. I thought that the Cavs would be better earlier this year, and I'm disappointed that thus far they haven't been what I thought that they were going to be. Evan Mobley, offensively, he looks like he's still the same guy that he was last year. He doesn't look aggressive. I know he can knock down the mid-range shot. I know he could get to the basket with the best of them. I know that for a fact. I know he can get to the basket with the best of them. I know he can knock down the mid-range shot. I still think he's a little tentative when it comes. I think he's a little tentative when it comes to Donovan Mitchell and playing with Darius Garland. That he's not as aggressive as he needs to be. I think he's a 20 a game, between a 20 and 25 a game guy. I think he could be that, but it doesn't look like he's showing that right now. So I am disappointed with the Cavs, because I feel like they could be better. And defensively, they had the best defense in the league last year. They're not even in the top 10 this year. I thought that they would be a lot better. I'm disappointed in the Golden State Warriors and how Draymond handled that situation the way he did. And I understand that, you gotta look out for your teammate. Get your guy. I'm not gonna put my hands on Big Ox guy. Big Ox ain't gonna put his hands on my guy. If we got a scuffle, I'm gonna get my guy. You get your guy. But there's a way to handle things like that, right? And I'm disappointed that got handled like that. I feel like the 5-game suspension, I think it was a little lenient because, Draymond's got a history of being the type of dude that he is. I feel like it should have been at least 10 games. At least 10 games. I'm liking what I'm seeing in the NBA right now, right? I'm liking what I'm seeing in the NBA right now in terms of where the game is going. And I think this in-season tournament, I think this is a good idea. I'm warming up to it more and more, Big Ox. I didn't in the past, but I'm warming up to it more and more because I think it's going to add more competitiveness, not just to the regular season at this point. I'm talking about moving forward. I think it's going to add even more. I think it's going to add even more competitiveness, and games are going to be better at this point and moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And just kind of like what you said about Draymond, if I was Adam Silver, we wouldn't be seeing Draymond until January. Let's put it that way.
I was thinking at least 10 games because he got a history. This isn't something that, and again, this isn't something that just like he's got one instance or two. No, Draymond got a sheet. That's what Draymond got. Draymond got a jacket, and we've looked at it. And you run down the line. When Draymond standing in front of Big Ox looking at the sheet. Okay, I got theft, I got assault, I got battery, I got robbery. Wait a minute. All of this stuff.
All types of priors. Like what's going on?
What's going on? This is not his first offense right here. We got a whole list of things over the years. And you're gonna give him 30 days? That's it?
They got that at least, and on top of that, he got to take anger management courses and everything, like
absolutely
community service.
You can't just write a check. No, you can't. You can't just write a check for 5. You can't just write a check and sit out for 2 weeks and then that's the end of it. No, that's not enough.
Oh man,
no way.
January is crazy. No, January is not crazy. Draymond, he do too much. He's a psychopath. He needs to work on himself. Let me see. We got a couple more fellas in the back. Let's run through this real quick, y'all. I'm gonna bring y'all up, but let's keep it short, fellas. We only got about 15 minutes left, so let's get to it. Stacks, Wild Willis, what's going on?
What up?
Oh, this is Stacks.
Yeah, this is Stacks, man.
Oh, what up?
What up, man? What up? Ox, you cold for not mentioning Juju Watkins the other day either. You mentioned all them girls.
Oh, I didn't watch USC. I didn't watch them.
You ain't watch her yet?
Nah, I've seen her, but I haven't watched.
You gotta watch her, bro. She play like a dude, bro. She play like a dude.
Who the chick I just seen a couple of days ago? She went for like 45 or some nonsense like that.
That's girl from LSU, Malaysia Williams or something.
Super nice. She is.
She nice too. Yeah, she a freshman. That's crazy. They both freshmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ox, you seen your man Fox yesterday?
Of course.
Y'all don't got no criticism of him? Chill and Ox?
Don't talk to me.
Nah, that's a both of y'all now. Y'all got no criticism?
Do I got some criticism for De'Aaron Fox?
Stacks, talk to your man, Stacks. Because again, talk to your man. Because I can't say
30 shots.
I can't say nothing bad about homeboy, right? Because if I say something, it's gonna turn into something.
He took 30 shots. That's all I'm saying. He took 30 shots. My man got crucified for that.
That was kicking our ass, you know what I'm saying, to start that game. We had to do something. He had to do something. He had to start shooting the ball, man.
That's crazy.
Where would we be? Where would we be without De'Aaron if he didn't get aggressive?
I could say the same thing about Brunson, right? Your man Randle was shooting 27%, bro. Must have had to take 30 shots.
And by the way, how's that going? Since
he's playing better. He's been playing better. But he's still not the best player on the team, though.
And just so you know, Julius Randle he leading the Knicks in assists. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, he do. He could have been turnovers too, but yeah, if he keep this up, he ain't been doing it the last 2 games. But
the reason why he lead them in turnovers is because he's the one passing the ball the most. That's why.
Nah, because he make the most boneheaded decisions. That's why. Sure.
You still gotta. Here's the thing that you gotta do, Stacks. You still gotta fill me in on this read and react offense. What does that mean, B?
We don't have no offensive system, man. We don't call no. We got Quentin Grimes out there. He taking 6 shots a game. He been working on pin downs with JJ Redick this whole offseason. Right. We ain't called a pin down yet. It's killing me, yo.
I watch the Knicks, and I've seen.
Yeah, we don't call no pin down, no off ball movement or nothing, man.
True, yes, you do. I've seen.
No,
I've seen pin downs for Grimes. I've seen pin downs.
Chill.
This is the action. I'm gonna tell you right now. You got Brunson right here on the right side of the floor. You got R.J. Barrett right here. You got Hartenstein right here. Hartenstein comes down, sets a pin down on R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett gets it. Then he has another screen right in front of him. He got another screen right in front of him with R.J. Barrett.
How many times you see that one time a game? If you do, it's only one time a game. Like, come on.
I'm talking about sets. They didn't just come.
But it's on Grimes too, though. Like, it's crazy, man.
So he's got action with Julius Randle, a two-man game. That goes on with your boys. They're not just running. They're not just run and gun, read and react. So read and react, from what I understand, it's very much like motion. And you react to a dude coming off a screen. You react to a dude coming off a pin down.
I don't think we have the right players for that. Besides, Brunson, I don't think Randle can do it, but not because he's doing it right now, but not because I don't know. Not because
hey, Stacks, real quick, brother. I got to stop you real quick because you know I watched the game. I didn't check out the box scores, but you just came up here and lied to me, and I can't accept that. De'Aaron Fox shot 24 shots last night.
I'm counting them free throws. That's 13 free. That's 6 shots right there.
No,
I'm petty, bro. I'm petty.
I'm petty,
bro.
I know you ain't
counting them free throws. That's 13 shots. 13 free throws.
He's from the Bronx, big guy.
That's 13 free throws, bro.
He's from the Bronx.
That's 6 shots right there.
That's Bronx man. That's Bronx man.
Bro, I'm being petty, bro. I'm petty, bro. That's 13. That's 30 shots, bro.
It's certain New York dudes that's petty. Not all New York dudes is petty. The boogie down, they petty in the boogie down. They petty in Harlem and they petty in Brooklyn. They ain't petty in Queens, but they definitely petty in Brooklyn. They definitely petty in the Bronx and they petty in Harlem. I can tell you that right now, Big Ox.
I can be petty. I ain't petty. I can be petty, but yeah, for Ox, I'm definitely gotta be petty for Ox. Facts. For Ox, facts, I gotta be petty. I'm like, oh, you took 13 free throws? That's 6 shots. That's 30 right there.
Okay,
that's 30. I got another question for y'all. What makes a great head coach to y'all?
What makes a great head coach? If you're a great head coach, I think that you're only as good as just. It's like anything. It's like great players. You're only as good as the dudes you run them. So a great head coach, you're only as good as your staff. So your X and O guy, your ability to manage, right? Your ability to manage the game, your ability to make adjustments, your ability to manage your guys, to keep guys under control. All of that stuff makes you a good head coach. Your ability to keep your cool when things get crazy, your ability to adjust in game. All of this stuff makes you a great head coach. You having a player who you maximize his ability. Whatever you know how to do, Stacks, that's what we're doing. What you don't know how to do, we ain't doing that. Guys like Jerry Sloan, guys like Phil Jackson, who they maximize who you are, right? And the stuff that you don't know how to do, we're not going to illuminate that. No, we're not going to illuminate that because that's going to make us look bad.
Do communication got anything to do with that, coaching?
It's everything.
That's everything, right? Yeah. All right, that's my number one problem with Tom Thibodeau. He does not talk to his players. He does not. Our assistant coach, Johnny Bryant, he handles all of that. Like I remember during the offseason, it's an article that came out that he had to speak with Julius Randle and tell him like, yo, he had to go and show him the footage like, yo, do you like, would you want to be a teammate of this guy that you see on this footage right here? I feel like Tom Thibodeau should be doing all of that stuff. Like he doesn't talk to the players. Like when he benched, like he got D Rose and Fournier on him, he just benched them, not telling them like, yo, like talk to your players, bro. There's no communication going on.
And with that being said, he also
he hasn't held Julius Randle accountable one time, Chill. Like I don't, bro. I don't know how you haven't seen that.
He always got this what look on his face. That makes me nuts with him. He don't never look like he's engaged. It's always like he's always got that look on his face.
He got a blank look on his face. Like he doesn't say nothing, man. Like I don't know how I could call him a great coach. I used to think he was a great coach too, just like y'all. I ain't gonna lie. But now me watching him these 3 seasons, he fell down so much on my ladder, man. I lost so much respect for him. I lost so much respect for Tom Thibodeau. I used to respect the hell out of him, man. From Chicago, because D Rose was my favorite player. From Chicago to Minnesota. But now I can look back in hindsight. I see how the organizations, how Minnesota, how he traded Zach LaVine. He don't like building up. He don't like developing young players and all of that stuff. Right. I lost a lot of respect for him, man.
Okay. Well, Stacks, we do got to keep it moving. We got a couple more fellas in the back. We got to get
Boogie down in the house.
All right, bro. Salute, man.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, them Bronx dudes, they're a little different, big odds. You got to be a little bit. The math is.
Yeah, man, that was some wild math. You know what I'm saying? and don't get me wrong. We don't got the best public schools out here, but I was pretty sure I was on top of that.
The Bronx dudes, they petty. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring these two up together. Leaf Diggy.
What up?
What's up?
What up,
gentlemen? Man, Bobby, what the hell wrong with you, man? What's
Who,
the
me?
matter? Yeah, you.
What I
I'm
do?
watching. No. I'm watching the show yesterday and the Friday show, and you look intimidated.
I
don't
look
know
what?
what's going. Yeah, I'm watching the show yesterday. I'm watching the show yesterday. I'm putting all this damn belief in you in your morning show, and you look intimidated.
This a pep talk. He think you.
I look intimidated.
Yeah. He think you scared.
By what?
You look intimidated, man. Listen. Ticket ain't going nowhere. He gonna stand in the ring, and he gonna listen. He ready for a damn blood and fight, and you need to be ready too. Damn it! I don't need to be going to your show back and forth, man, and talk about. You know I believe in you. You know I do, man. And I don't know why you said that shit you said the other night, man. You know I believed in you. I was just obviously pep talking you the other night. You know I believe in you, damn it. Now Ticket ain't going nowhere. He gonna stand in the ring and he gonna look for you to knock his ass out. You need to swole up. Stop getting scared of him. Stop backing down and stop getting intimidated.
Hey, I appreciate the
pep
talk.
Cut that shit out, man.
I do. I needed that. Thank you, Lee.
Cut that shit out, man. You don't see Chilltown backing down from none of these bozos out here. I need you to do the same shit.
For sure.
Now,
appreciate that.
Now, as far as that game last night goes, Chilltown, oh yeah. Did you see somebody revert back to their same ways? Oh, you did. You know what? I did too. And that's not the last time it's gonna happen this season. You know when you're gonna see it again? You're gonna see it in the playoffs when I told you about his suck ass.
Oh, damn.
You're gonna see it again. And everything that I'm telling you about this dude when it comes down to the postseason, you are going to see again. There's nothing about his ID that reads, I'm going to take this team to a championship and I'm going to win it for Boston. There's nothing about it.
You're gonna see it.
Yeah, now if you want to explain to me time and time again for the rest of the season what it is that you see from him outside of the regular season going into the postseason, now you know what? I did lie to you. I lied to you last night. You asked me a question. You said, "Is this the same dude from 2 years ago?" No, it's not. It's different. It's a different dude. But the problem is, it ain't good enough. It ain't.
You know what I'm talking about, Big Eye? See that expectation lot? See that expectation?
Is it an expectation lot?
You called him Scottie Pippen, even though Scottie Pippen never was to Scottie Pippen. Even though, by the way, Scottie Pippen is fantastic. By the way, Scottie Pippen wasn't a good player; he was fantastic. And the fact that you holding this dude feet to the fire suggests, and how passionate you are, suggests how awesome he is. Suggests how awesome he is. 24 years old, getting his team to the NBA Finals. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Listen.
Get on the gas. Get on the gas. Get on the gas.
But with all of that being said, yo, hold on.
My dude Leaf in traffic. I'll catch you in traffic, Lee. I will catch you in traffic, B. Let's move it.
Yo, D-Bell, what up?
Did we lose him?
Yeah, my bad. I had to stop.
D-Bell ain't there. Leaf back.
Yeah, no.
All right.
What I was saying was the thing that he's gonna revert back to, and it's something that I kept saying. When he sees somebody that's gonna go toe to toe with him and stand in that ring, you big on boxing and you big on standing in that ring. You told me it's only a matter of X's and O's that you could do. It's only a matter like stuff that you could do. As sooner or later, his light skin ass is gonna have to stand there and gonna have to take some jabs and take some hits and take some punches and dish them shits back. I don't think he's capable of doing it, and I don't know why you think he's capable of doing it.
Because I seen him do it. That's why.
Because you seen him do it.
Because I seen him do it. Yeah,
you seen him.
Because I seen him do it. Because I seen him do it.
We seen this kid, and this ain't just about him. This is about JB too. We seen him and JB kind of switch, where it's like, oh, yo, you taking over this game? All right, yo, this dude got me. All right, you taking over this game? Okay, all right, yo, y'all do something later. I never listen. When I'm gonna need to see them two be the 1-2 completely. It's not just about him, because if we talking about Boston, I've seen this episode of Friends before. They got to the finals. Then they don't get to the finals. Then they get back to the finals and don't win it. And then they don't see the finals no more. They go to rebuild, and then
wrong,
fast
if
forward.
I'm wrong, I'll say that I'm wrong about Jason Tatum, but I ain't.
Oh,
wrong.
you will.
I ain't wrong. That's all I'm saying.
No. Listen,
I ain't wrong.
and Chilltown, I'm gonna say
I'm
one
good.
last thing before I go. It's a lot of things. Realistically, it's a lot of things that I don't disagree on, other than LeBron. Because anybody that co-signed LeBron that's older than me, I think you're ashamed of yourself. But that's a thing. That's a different story. This is one thing that you're gonna have to take this hit for.
If I'm wrong about him, which I don't think I am, I'll say it. But I don't think I'm wrong about him. So
you're gonna have to take this hit for this.
Bobby,
quick and scared, man. I'm
for sure. I'm a buck up. I hear you, Lee. I hear you, Lee.
He gonna be on your ass, and I need you to hit back.
I got you, Lee. I got you. You know what time it is. I got you, Lee. So
don't fail me.
I got you, Lee.
Neither one of you better not fail me this Friday, man.
All right, brother.
Don't fail me.
All right, Lee, Diggy.
All right, brother.
Man, I didn't know I was spooked, but appreciate you for pointing that out to me, Lee.
Hey, to the dude in the chat, yo, we got an hour and a half into the show. The whole time you've been here, you've been talking about me. Meanwhile, you said that you here for Bobby. The whole time you've been talking about me. In your sleep. Rent free, homeboy. Rent free. I am certain of it. I don't pay no rent up there. I live there. I'm certain of it. I live there. You come up here every day, whether I'm here, whether I'm anywhere else. I live rent free there, B. The only time I see you is on PC. Right. That's the only time you see me. I don't check for you. You checking for me, though. Rent free, homeboy. Anyway, Big Ox, which, as you were saying.
NLF, member for a month. Appreciate you, NLF. Let's get those months up. Let's get those months up. Next month, month after. Eleanor, will we ever start putting value towards whoever wins this in-season tournament, ranking wise, like when we're talking about the greatest of all time?
That's gonna be a conversation. Watch. That's gonna be a conversation. So? Yep. It's gonna. I won the MVP of the in-season tournament 4 times. Oh, that's gonna be a conversation. Yeah. Watch.
And then don't forget we got Eastern Conference MVP, Finals MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP too. So all that's gonna start coming into account. I'm not mad at the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals MVP. Like I think that was a good thing because
I do too.
Like there's been champions and we only talk about them and people kind of forget like, well, who did they play? Not knowing that those were great teams too. So plus to add to your point, Big. I'm sorry. What were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going. Oh no, I mean that was pretty much it. I just think that a lot of those teams deserve recognition. Like I don't like the fact that people try to say, oh, Bron can never be the GOAT because he lost six finals. Yeah, I mean he got to 10 though. That's what we should be talking about. He got to 10 finals, not the fact that he lost 6. He got to 10 NBA champion, in 10 NBA championships. Like that's crazy.
Absolutely.
Uncle Don, ticket ain't up here. Ticket, do you think the Cavaliers need a trade? Well, chill. Do you think the Cavaliers need a trade?
Nope. These dudes need to play better. We just talked about it, Big Ox. We ain't moving off nobody. These is kids. Donovan Mitchell is the oldest one on that starting 5, with the exception of Strus. These kids need to get better. Only feet to the fire. Nope. Do not. This is what I'm talking about when I say giving up on these dudes. No.
Did you see Max Strus catch a body last night? Dunk on the floor?
I didn't know he had hops like that, Big Ox.
Yeah, check it out.
I did not know he had hops like that.
Real quick, D-Bell, we got a couple seconds, man. You got time for a word or two. What's going on, brother? Second time, D-Bell. Sorry, brother.
Tried to get him on.
Tried twice, man. Tried twice. But well, with that, we have reached the conclusion of another great show. Love these Saturday shows, Chitchat. It's just something about these Saturday shows, man. I love them. But yeah, man, we came to the conclusion. Great hoops last night. We got some more great hoops this weekend. Sunday, y'all know what Sunday is, man. I'm telling y'all, turn on ESPN. Watch some NC2A women's basketball. You're gonna thank me. You'll thank me later. But Chilltown, what you got for him?
Drink some water. Put on a suit. Call your mother. That's simple. Don't drink and drive. Until then,
never drink and drive.
Take it light, but take it.
Man, for sure. Hey, y'all make sure y'all get some.
Rent free in the most expensive space in your head. Rent free. I live in a penthouse. I got my feet kicked up. Rent free in the most expensive space in your head.
Man. Hey, y'all make sure y'all get some cardio in now. Don't wait till
Yeah, go
after
do that.
Thanksgiving. Start now, because I know y'all about to be eating 5 helpings on Thanksgiving, man. Y'all get the cardio in right now. Don't wait till after.
Chill out.
Get that metabolism going, y'all.
Get it going.
All right,
y'all.